So 2 years ago, we built an amazing treehouse. Unfortunately, we sold the property and the treehouse went with it. Ever since then, we've been dreaming about building another one and finishing it off. So I put the old band back together. Boys, are you guys excited about building another treehouse?
Yeah!
What are you looking forward to doing in the new treehouse that we didn't do in the old one?
Excited to go camp in the treehouse.
Camp in the treehouse, what?
The zip line.
Zip line. Walter? Chicken man?
My slide.
The slide, awesome. Treehouse build 2.0. You guys ready? Welcome to the new treehouse build series, episode 1. Let's go. I really feel this is the easiest way to build a treehouse. You're just gonna put one board up in the tree, level it, get it where you want it, and then we'll build our base frame off of that board. I made these really simple 2x4 scissor stands and they helped a lot with holding it up. Cutting all my 2x8s to dimension, but other than that, it's not square or level at this point. It's just kind of hovering in the air. If you've ever built a treehouse or if you're building one now, you know this is a huge hurdle. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. You remember we did a treehouse build video about 2 years ago now. This little guy was a lot smaller. This treehouse is going to be almost a copy of that old one. It'll be 2 feet wider. But yeah, I'm just gonna get my sons to build this treehouse with me. This little guy didn't help too much last time because he was only 2. He's 4 now. The older 2 boys are in school, so when they get out of school, we're just gonna try and tackle this thing 1 week at a time.
Yeah, we're gonna do that on a Sunday.
So along the way, I'm gonna share the fine details of the construction and some of the hurdles and obstacles we have to jump to build this and a couple of the techniques we're gonna use. So if you guys like this type of content, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hang out over the next couple of weeks as we build this awesome treehouse. Right before this point, I made sure my square box was exactly square, and then I braced it with some 2x4s in the corners, dropped the plumb bob to see exactly where my footers need to be for my post. Then we'll dig some big holes, make our square 2x4 frames for the top pad, level it up, and then we're ready for concrete. The footers ended up being about 3 80-pound bags each, which I think will be plenty. I'll use the plumb bob again and a measuring tape and sink some post straps into the concrete. I'm going to sink these on the front and back so that when I level my post, the side-to-side movement doesn't move my box out of square.
Holds me up, fine. You dumb son. So, let's cover it up.
Our post footers dried up nicely, and like I said, this is really the easiest way to do it. Raise your box, a bunch of temporary supports, do your drop string, find your footers for your post, and get those set. And it just really turns out nicely, and you're not fighting with setting your post while you're trying to hang your box up in the air or your box frame. So today's goal is going to be to get our 8x8 vertical post stood up, get our cross beams going across for our floor joist supports. I'm going to hopefully get that done before the big boys get home from school, and then they can help me lay all the floor joists on top of the cross beam. So that is today's plan. Let's get to work. If you could recommend one additional tool to have around while building a treehouse, it would 100% be a chainsaw. As with our first build, this came in so handy with cutting stuff just quickly and rough versus some smaller saw options, especially with this heavy timber. So now we raised our cut pieces up while making sure our box stayed square. Good?
Yep.
Easy peasy.
That's done?
It's done. And the main reason you want it square, if you're building it to traditional construction, so like dimensional lumber, is all gonna fit. So if you're building a treehouse and you're piecing everything together from scrap, it's not a huge deal, but if you're planning on building it the traditional construction way, which I am, so 16 on center studs, 2x4s, pretty much just like a house up here. So if this post and beam attachment is not square, you're gonna run into all those problems and it's just gonna cause you a lot more cuts. So make sure this is square before you attach your beams, then we'll go back and level it. Every tree is gonna be different. Mine is gonna be supporting one end of a treehouse. The other end will be supported with footers and posts. But to attach the boards or the ledger to the tree temporarily, I'm gonna be using these ledger attachment bolts. And then I'll go take these out one at a time and replace them with big either lag bolts or carriage bolts that go all the way through the tree with nuts and washers. So that's where we're at now. So now the two 2x10 beams are up on the 8-inch cedars. On the back side, there'll be a 4-foot span going to the front of the ledger board. Right here on the back side, what I'm doing now is marking my 12-inch centers because we'll have a 8-foot hang on this side coming off those beams back there. So we are gonna use some Simpson hangers for this. So I'm gonna mark these out, get some straight lines. We're gonna use some hangers. The beams, our 2x8 floor joists will be on 12s, like I said, hanging from here. They'll be laying on top of our 2x10 double support beams, which will be plenty strong enough. So that's what we're gonna do now. Get all these hung up and then we'll just lay them up here and set them across the top beam. So I got the boys home from school. I got the joist hangers all hung up and I got all my 2x8 by 12s cut down to 141 inches because we have to count for our rim joist because the box is exactly 12 feet long. So I got all those joists cut. Now I'm gonna get the boys to hand to me. We're gonna drop them in place and get the floor done.
Oh yeah, so much easier after taking off the jaws.
Juice slip right there.
So what we gotta do is go through and nail these, but we gotta lift up just a little bit. So we'll do one person lifting, one person nailing, okay? I'm gonna push it up and nail the top right here. Hang on to it. You can, there you go. Push, pull. Nice.
That's juicy slip.
Be careful. You won't fall very far, but you might rack your nuts if you fall on the floor joist. This will be the porch, and then like you're pretty much standing where the door is. So past these beams right here,
Yep.
they'll be all inside. That'll be plenty for a couple bunks, huh?
Yep.
So see, we gotta take this tape all the way over here and grab the bottom of that 2x. Let me get up one more so I can see. You good? Nah, you good. Stay right there. Always one hand on the lumber, okay? See if I can grab it. Oh, I got it. Now this is gonna... Oh, I got it. You see it's hooked? Now we come back over here and all we gotta do on this one is just touch it. So what's that number?
46.
That's 127.5.
Wow.
But we got to remember we're on the outside of that stud back there. So we need to cut this joist, floor joist, at a fat 126.
Chill.
A fat 126. Don't get up on the top step.
Also.
Remember, never the top step, always one up. Got that?
Got it.
A fat 126. Can we go cut it?
Yeah.
Let's go cut. Come on, calm down. Yeah. All the rafters are laid in place, and now the important last step, I'm going to hop up top and use my tape measure and go corner to corner and make sure we are exactly the same measurement, so it'll be square. For some reason I thought this would be the best way down, and I just about got stuck, but surprisingly I made it. Now, I've skipped this process a time or two in the past while framing, but adding blocking to your joist, guys, makes a huge difference in tightening up the structure. So all the blocking is done for the floor joist. Now we're going to get our top deck on the floor joist and the deck will be complete. A few things I have to do. I got to trim up these cedar beams for our posts. I got to just cut the tops off with a chainsaw, and then we're running regular tongue and groove 3/4 OSB subfloor on top because it will be fully enclosed. And then the front porch part that overhangs is going to just run regular 5/4 deck board. All right, you boys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. That sums up this week's treehouse build. We got all the supports and the framing done. For the floor, we got most of the decking on. The exposed side for the porch, we'll do that later. But we are almost ready to start framing this thing up and staying the walls up. That will be next week. As always, thank you guys for watching. If you have any suggestions or liking anything we did or want to comment or help out or give us some advice, please leave a comment below. I'm always welcoming a good advice. And you guys stick around for next week for Treehouse Build Part 2. See you then, guys. Welcome to the lab today. Are you good?
Yeah.
All right. Good job, bud.